you is of the Porsche 904. It's a 1/25th scale model by Monogram. It's an older model kit. And let's have a look here. Some pictures of the finished car. Let's have a look inside. Looks like we have a lot of parts to go through here. That's a really old catalog with some really awesome cars. So first of all, here's our body, and that's reasonably molded. Looks like a very small little car, even though it's 1/25th scale. And we have our 4 tires. These are older vinyl with some flashing that'll need to get removed. Here we have our hood. That'll go on there. And looks like some parts. That looks like a wheel hub. And I'm not sure what that is. Here's our glass. We've got our headlight covers, side glass, rear glass, and windshield. Here's our chrome. We've got our wheels, probably our carburetors there, and headlights and so on. Looks like parts for the engine, and the other hub, and fuel tank. Parts for the engine bay here, and not sure what that is. Here's our chassis. Everything's going to get mounted onto that. Some additional parts and scoops. Here you can see our brakes and parts for the wheels, our wheel well here, and let's have a look at these pieces here. So here we have, looks like our dashboard with instrument panel. We've got some parts for the engine here, suspension parts. Here's our steering column and sway bar. Not sure what these are for. Probably for the underside. Here are our seats. Flashing there. Not too great with the molding. Here's the rear part for the rear of the cockpit. And here is our also parts for the body. We have our suspension parts here. Here's our these are the axles, steering column there. I'm not sure what all these other parts are for. Probably parts of the suspension. Here's our steering wheel and our pedal box there. Let's have a look at our decals. Still reasonable shape after all these years with the little Porsche insignia. And let's have a look. There's the colors needed down there. So it looks like we're actually going to build the engine. Looks like a lot of detail there. This is a supercharged engine. There's a supercharger of the blower on top. That's then mounted onto the lower body, and then we build the frame as part of the chassis, and all these parts then mounted onto the lower floor pan. There's a roll bar there, and start to build the suspension parts and the wheel hubs, steering column there with the tie rod. Next we're going to build the parts for the this part of the cockpit here. Pedal box going in, and the sway bar. Next the steering shaft is put in. Starting to build up the rest of the cockpit, including the door sides and center console. Dashboard goes on. Next is the fuel tank. Now I'm going to build up the body panels, windshield wiper. Next we put on the hood. And these are the mounts, the hinges. And slowly we're going to start to build up the tail. Glass is all put in, the scoops are put on, that's then mounted onto the back of the car. And then the wheels are put on. Exhaust pipes, finally, painting and decal guide. So, actually a fair amount of detail molded into this. Molding quality is not that great. Fair amount of flashing, as you can see. It all needs to be removed. But surprisingly, a lot of little detail.